It's a face only a mother could love. This googly-eyed beast is taking social media by storm.
There's Orbit, the Astros mascot.
Fanatic doesn't like when you touch his four-wheeler.
Bernie's birthday. Oh, my, Bernie. Oh. Not what we would call a picture-perfect landing.
Pass caught by Des Bryant.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Mascot Madness Selection Show, brought to you by Derek Likes Sports. I am Derek, and I am so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that I am here. This tournament is going to be unlike anything that's ever been done before, period. In fact, it is going to be so great that I heard that the NCAA is going to do a similar thing with the basketball tournament this year. They're going to call it March Madness and have players play in like a basketball tournament or something. I don't know. They're announcing the teams for that later. But now, today, with you here, we are going to reveal the 76 mascots that will be participating and vying for your votes in the first ever Mascot Madness Tournament. Very, very exciting. And I'm also excited because watching live, we have two hopefuls hoping to be a part of this tournament, hoping to maybe even win it. They are the Philly Fanatic in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the Oriole Bird in Baltimore, Maryland. Two baseball mascots hoping to have a chance to represent their teams, their leagues, and their families proudly in this tournament, this prestigious tournament that you will help decide the winner of. Lucy is here. She is excited about Mascot Madness, and I accidentally had just locked her in a closet right before I started filming. So if you heard her meowing in the open, that's why. She's kind of mad at me now, but say hi, Lucy. All right. She's a little microphone shy. The selection committee has worked day and night to whittle down the pool of 76 mascots. We have 19 mascots from each of the four major sports leagues: the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. I just wanted to quickly show you the schedule so you have an idea of how things are going to progress throughout this tournament. If you are watching this, voting has opened. So the first round that we're actually going to vote on is called the Dirty Dozen. March Madness has the first four, and that's where the last four teams into the tournament are decided based off of 4 games that they play, and that's the one time a year that you have to find where True TV is, what channel it is. So this, we have the Dirty Dozen. There are 24 teams vying to be the last ones into the tournament, so 12, a dozen, will get to advance, and I'll explain all that very soon. But I just wanted to let you know voting is now open. I will explain how you can vote in a little bit. I think the perfect place to get started is with our number 1 seeds, the ones that will be sitting at the top of their respective brackets, the ones that will be favored to come out of their respective brackets and make our fun-filled 4, our final 4, if you will. So let's jump right into that. Let's take a look at our number 1 seeds in the first ever Mascot Madness Tournament. Okay, so we have our boxes here. I will click on the box, make it go away, and that will reveal each of our number 1 seeds. So let's start with this one. Who will be our first number 1 seed? It is Benny the Bull from the Chicago Bulls in the NBA. Benny the Bull, he is, as you might have guessed, a bull, and he is a beloved figure in Chicago sports. He will be a number 1 seed. Next, we have Blue. Blue is a horse, a colt maybe, because he represents the Indianapolis Colts, and he's very excited, as you can see from that image. Next, we have Gritty. He is a I don't know, monster. I don't know what Gritty is, but he is a great mascot. He was a bit of a laughingstock when he first came onto the scene, but he has very quickly become one of the most famous mascots in the world, despite only being around for a little less than 10 years, I think. He represents the Philadelphia Flyers of the NHL and really the whole city of Philadelphia. Congratulations, Gritty. You are a number 1 seed, and our 4th number 1 seed will be the Philly Fanatic, another one from Philadelphia. And we have Philly fanatic watching, reacting. Look how excited the Philly fanatic is that they have been selected as a number 1 seed from the Philadelphia Phillies, the Philly Fanatics. So those are our number 1 seeds for the first ever Mascot Madness Tournament. Let me know in the comments what you think of these number 1 seeds. One from each of the 4 leagues. The NBA has Benny the Bull, NFL, Blue, the Colt, Horse, I don't know, Gritty, the Monster, and the Philly Fanatic. He's a fanatic, I guess. Maybe that's the species. I don't know. But congratulations to those 4. They will head up their respective brackets. All right, before I reveal the first of the 4 regions in the bracket, I just wanted to quickly encourage you to subscribe to the show on YouTube, subscribe to it wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps the show, and it will help you keep up with everything that is happening with Mascot Madness. My cat is climbing in the background. That is awesome. Great work. Great work. She's kind of the mascot of this show. So here she comes. Anyway, yeah, links in the description to all the social media stuff, all the places you can subscribe. And now let's get into the bracket. So it is time to reveal the first of the 4 regions, and that region will be named after someone close to my heart, close to my head right now, and sitting right over my shoulder. That's right. The top left of the bracket is named after Otto the Orange. So Otto couldn't be in this bracket because he's not a professional mascot, but he will be around as a namesake for one of the regions. All right, so let's take a look at each of the teams that will be in this region. As the 1 seed in the Otto the Orange region, we will have Gritty. Gritty is the number 1 overall seed for this tournament. Gritty will face off the winner of this Dirty Dozen matchup between Rampage of the Los Angeles Rams and Slamson the Lion of the Sacramento Kings. They will be one of the matchups that you will vote on in the first round of voting. Switching to the 8-9 matchup, the 8 seed in the Otto the Orange region will be Swoop of the Philadelphia Eagles. Swoop actually is in the movie, sort of, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and gets the crap beat. Well, he gets in a fight with Ace. It's like the last thing that happens in that movie, which is interesting, I guess. The 9 seed in this bracket will be Slugger. I guess I like to pronounce all of the R's. You don't have to, but Slugger will be representing the Kansas City Royals, and I guess Slugger's a lion. It upsets me that the crown is like a part of its head, and it kind of makes me feel like its skull is in that shape. Not trying to sway any voting here. I'm just calling it like I see it. So that is our 8-9 matchup. Swoop versus Slugger. The 5-12 matchup, the 5 seed in the Otto the Orange bracket will be Iceberg, the penguin that is the mascot for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the 12 seed will be Jazz Bear. Guess what animal Jazz Bear is? I bet you can't. Jazz, of course, represents the Utah Jazz. Utah, known for its jazz scene, of course, as we all know. So, moving on to the 4-13 matchup. The 4 seed in the Otto the Orange bracket will be Rumble, the Bison of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. The 13 seed trying to pull the upset will be Youppi. And yes, the exclamation point is a part of Youppi's name. Youppi's interesting because he used to be the mascot for the Montreal Expos. Then the Montreal Expos moved to Washington. Youppi did not go with them, but the Montreal Canadiens were nice enough to adopt Youppi and make him their mascot. So that is our 13 seed. The 6-11 matchup, the 6 seed in the Otto the Orange region will be Jackson DeVille. Depending on how you feel about puns, his name will either delight you or enrage you. But he is the mascot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm getting in my head about the pronouns for these mascots. I guess, I don't know. I'm going to probably say he for a lot of them. And I apologize if that's incorrect. The 11 seed in the Otto the Orange region will be Rocky. Rocky represents the Denver Nuggets. Rocky the Mountain Lion. represents the Denver Nuggets in the 6-11 matchup. Now, the 3 seed, one of the top 4 seeds in this bracket, Dinger, the Triceratops, rep for the Colorado Rockies. So the Rockies have had a hard time recently in recent years winning games. Maybe Dinger can win a couple matchups and represent them a little better than the baseball team has last couple years. Sorry to take a shot at the Rockies there. They've been through enough. The 14 seed, so this will be the winner of this Dirty Dozen matchup between TD, that stands for the Dolphin, the mascot for the Miami Dolphins, and Spartacat, the mascot for the Ottawa Senators, one of our many Canadian mascots in this tournament. So that will be in the Dirty Dozen voting, and the winner will face Dinger. On to the 7-10 matchup. The 7 seed in this bracket will be Carlton the Bear of the Toronto Maple Leafs, another Canadian representative. And the 10 seed will be Gorilla, the Gorilla of the Phoenix Suns, a dark horse in this tournament, I must say. And then the 2-15, the 2 seed trying to take down Gritty at the top will be Wally the Green Monster, the Boston Red Sox mascot, named after their famous wall in left field. And Wally will face the winner of the Dirty Dozen matchup between Chomps of the Cleveland Browns and TC Bear of the Minnesota Twins. Honestly, it was tough for the selection committee to decide between Chomps and Brownie the Elf for who would represent the Cleveland Browns. And it turns out, I guess Chomps is the official mascot. I'm not even sure Brownie the Elf qualifies. But we are looking into that very powerfully. Don't you worry. So here is the full Otto the Orange region. Just taking a look, some interesting potential matchups. I mean, we could end up with Gritty versus Iceberg in the Silly 16. A nice interstate matchup between NHL rivals. We could have a all Philadelphia second round with Gritty and Swoop. That could be a lot of fun. What else? I think a dark horse in this region, a possible Cinderella, would be the Gorilla. The Gorilla has kind of a cult following, and it's a really tough draw at the bottom of the bracket for Carlton and Wally to have to fend off the Gorilla. So we'll see how that goes. But all in all, I think Gritty, of course, probably the favorite. Number 1 overall seed. Someone's going to have to come for him. So that is the Otto, the Orange region. Let's check in and see how our friend Oriole Bird is doing. Getting a little nervous, but you know what? That's just one region. There are 3 more regions to go. This is just 19 teams, 1/4 of the field. I said teams again. These are not teams. These are mascots, but you know what I mean. I don't have to keep correcting myself. But hang in there, buddy. I'm sure that, the next region, you'll have another chance to get selected. And speaking of those other regions, let's go ahead and shift into our second region, which will be named after Brutus Buckeye of Ohio State University, another beloved mascot in college sports. Let's see who the number 1 seed is going to be in the Brutus Buckeye region. It is the Philly Fanatic. Congratulations again, Philly Fanatic. We can go live, see the reaction. Oh, so excited. So excited to meet the rest of the mascots in the Brutus Buckeye region. Philly Fanatic will get the winner of the Dirty Dozen matchup between Stinger of the Columbus Blue Jackets, some sort of insect. I guess a jacket? A blue jacket? Although I don't think that's an insect. I think I don't know. I don't know what Stinger is, but they will be going up against Miles, who I assume is a Bronco, and that will be one of the first matchups that you can vote on, and the winner will face the Fanatic, the 8-9 matchup in the Brutus region. The 8 seed, we have the KC Wolf, a wolf mascot for the Chiefs with eyes looking in every direction. And the 9 seed, this matchup will be the KC Wolf and Stomper, the elephant for the A's. I don't know what city to associate with them at this point. I guess we'll see. But the A's have Stomper as the 9 seed. The 5-12 matchup, the 5 seed, Blitz, coming off of a Super Bowl championship. Blitz the Seahawk will take on Harry the Hawk. So we have 2 Hawks facing off in a 5-12 matchup. Harry the Hawk, or Harry Hawk from Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks, That will be the 5-12 matchup. The 4-13, the 4 seed in the Brutus Buckeye division will be Pirate Parrot, the Pittsburgh Pirates mascot. And they will take on the 13 seed Coyote of the San Antonio Spurs, and also sporting some of the craziest eyes I have ever seen. The 6-11 matchup, the 6 seed in the Brutus Buckeye division will be Gee Whiz, someone close to my heart, the mascot of the Washington Wizards. No idea what Gee Whiz is. Maybe we'll find out along the way. Gee Whiz will take on the 11 seed Ace, a Blue Jay, I assume, for the Toronto Blue Jays, another one of our Canadian representatives. On to the 3 seed. The 3 seed in the Brutus Buckeye division will be Bango the Buck. Great name, Bango. And Bango will take on the winner of the Dallas Cowboys matchup, or Dallas Cowboys mascot, Rowdy, and Tommy Hawk, another Hawk in the Brutus Buckeye region. Winner of that will take on Bango. In the 7-10, the 7 seed, Southpaw of the Chicago White Sox, the south side of Chicago, represented by Southpaw. And then the 10 seed will be Sparky the Dragon of the New York Islanders. The 2 seed in this region, probably the biggest competition for the Philly Fanatic, it's going to be Bernie of the Miami Heat. And Bernie will take on the winner between Sourdough Sam and Wild Wing. Sourdough Sam of the San Francisco 49ers and Wild Wing of the Anaheim Ducks. So that is the Brutus Buckeye region. And I'm seeing some interesting matchups. Once again, we of course have the matchup of the Hawks with Blitz and Harry Hawk right there in the first round. We have another potential Philadelphia-Pittsburgh Silly 16 matchup between the Philly Fanatic and Pirate Parrot, very similar to what we saw in the Gritty region. And in terms of mascots that I think could have Cinderella runs, I mean, the Coyote could get some momentum behind it just because it's unique and odd looking in the similar way that the gorilla, I was talking about the gorilla and the otter, the orange region. And I'm also looking at Wild Wing, the 15 seed down there. I think could make some moves. I mean, people love the Mighty Ducks and the Anaheim Ducks. It's just a cool mascot. It's cool branding. Look out for Wild Wing. And of course, I am sort of a Cowboys fan, but I have no attachment to Rowdy in any way. I don't even think before doing this I could have named Rowdy as the mascot of the Cowboys. So, do with that information what you will. All right, before we jump into our third region, I just wanted to share with you that on the website for this, which you can get to either with DerekAdamThomas.com/Mascot Madness or mascotmadness.fun, which is a website extension I didn't know existed, criminally underutilized. .fun. Awesome. Great stuff. No notes. Anyway, on there's a page where you can learn about all of the mascots. There are little cards here, and you can click and flip the card. You get lots of information going in deep on these mascots, and a picture, which team they're representing, when they made their debut, all of that stuff with their seating right here. And here's something exciting. I am in the process of having these cards actually made, actually printed as trading cards. A first run is being produced as we speak, and you are going to have a chance of winning that first run of cards. Now, this is how it will work. When you vote, you will also be entering a drawing. A draw? Is that the right word? Drawing? Like sweepstakes? Sweepstakes feels too big. Drawing feels weird. It's almost like I'm offering to draw you. That is not what's happening. I will draw one random voter from the pool each round, and that voter will get the choice of one card that I will ship to them. Now, we'll do that for each of the rounds until we get to the final 4. After the final 4, you will still get a chance to win one card of your choice, but you will also win 4 special edition cards with the 4 mascots that make the final 4, if that makes sense. Now, this is where it gets big. After the championship, we'll do one final drawing, and that person will win the first printed set of the cards. It's going to be 80 cards. One for each mascot that's in it, and one for each of the regional namesake. So you're not going to want to miss that. So you're going to want to vote in each round to have a chance to win that. You're going to want to encourage your friends to vote. You're going to want to encourage your parents to vote, because are they going to be interested in these cards? Maybe, but I doubt it. If I handed my mom a swoop card, she would be the most confused and honestly concerned person on earth. Like, what do you do, Derek? What do you do that led you to designing and having these printed? I have more questions. That would be what would happen in that conversation. But I digress. Go check these out on the website, learn more information, and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know in the comments. There's an email address in the description you can send an email to. Happy to answer any questions, but this is going to be fun. All right, we are ready to move on to the third region in this tournament, and that region will be named after the Oregon Duck. I learned in doing this that the Oregon Duck is actually based on Donald Duck, and like Disney and Oregon, University of Oregon, have like a handshake agreement about that. You should check out that story. It's really interesting. Maybe I'll talk about it more on the show, but that's not what we're doing now. Now we are revealing who the 1 seed in the Oregon Duck region will be, and it is Benny the Bull of the Chicago Bulls, and Benny will be taking on the winner of Rory from the Detroit Lions and Finn the Whale of the Vancouver Canucks. Again, part of the Dirty Dozen, you will be able to vote on right now if you want to. All right, moving on. 8-9 matchup. The 8 seed in the Oregon Duck region, Al the Octopus of the Detroit Red Wings, and the 9 seed Big Red of the Arizona Cardinals. Now we have the 5-12 matchup. The 5 seed in the Duck region, Mariner Moose, representing the Seattle Mariners. Mariner Moose will take on the 12 seed Stanley C. Panther. The C, I learned, stands for Cup. So the defending Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers, have a mascot named Stanley Cup Panther, which is pretty cool. I think that, I mean, that's, at least they back it up by winning the last 2 championships. Otherwise, that's kind of lame. Like, can you imagine if the Cardinals named theirs like Lombardi T Red? It would be like Lombardi Trophy Red. No, wouldn't work because they've never won it, so you can't really do it. The 4 seed in this region, we have Lou Seal. Lou Seal of the San Francisco Giants, and Lou Seal will take on Clutch of the Houston Rockets. Now, Lou Seal, I looked into this as well, not an Arrested Development reference. If you know, you know. Lou Seal was named before Arrested Development came out, so it's just a coincidence, but a cool name nonetheless. Moving on, the 6-11 matchup, the 6th seed in the Duck region will be Sabretooth of the Buffalo Sabres, and they will be taking on the 11 seed Victor Viking of the Minnesota Vikings. The 3-14 matchup, and the 3 seed Crunch of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Crunch will be taking on the winner of Paws and Raymond, a interleague matchup here with the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays, 2 baseball franchises pitting their mascots against one another. On to the 7-10 matchup, the 7 seed in the Duck region, Clark the Bear, or Clark the Cub, for the Chicago Cubs. Both Chicago baseball teams have 7 seeds in this tournament, and the 10th seed will be Nash of the Nashville Predators. The 2-15 matchup, the 2 seed in the Duck region, Mr. and Mrs. Met. I believe this is the only pairing of mascots that are in this tournament. Can't split them apart, people. Can't split them apart. And the 15th seeds vying to take on Mr. and Mrs. Met, we have Louie of the St. Louis Blues, and we have Steely McBean of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that is the Oregon Duck region. I mean, full of interesting mascots. We could get a Minnesota matchup in the second round if Victor upsets Sabretooth and Crunch is able to win. The 3-11 matchup would be 2 Minnesota teams, so that's cool. But yeah, a lot of good contenders in this one. I think Al the Octopus could be a sleeper in that 8 seed. Look out Benny in the second round, assuming you're able to get past Rory and Finn the Whale. All right, let's check in on our good friend Oriole Bird. So we checked in after the first region was announced, and Oriole Bird was not in there. No reason to panic there. Only 25% of the field had been announced, but now 75% of the field's been announced. Still no Oriole Bird, and things look tense there in Baltimore, Maryland. There's still 19 spots that you could occupy. So, fingers crossed. We'll see, and let's go ahead and reveal it. Let's move on to our fourth and final region here, and this one will be named after the Stanford Tree, which is one of the mascots. It is one of all the mascots. It's one of them. It's an unofficial mascot, and it changes every year. It's designed by a student. One of the more interesting traditions, for sure, in college sports. All right, the 1 seed, our last 1 seed left is Blue, the Colt from the Indianapolis Colts, and Blue will be taking on the winner of Grizz and Mickey Moose. Yes, that is the name of the mascot of the Winnipeg Jets, Mickey Moose. They have not been sued, to my knowledge. Now, the 8-9 matchup, we have the 8 seed and the Stanford Tree bracket. It will be Orbit from the Houston Astros, and Orbit will be taking on Hugo, the Hornet of the Charlotte Hornets. In the 5-12 matchup, the 5 seed, Billy Marlin of the Miami Marlins will be taking on the 12 seed Sir Purr of the Carolina Panthers. Sir Purr, great name. Moving on to the 4-13 matchup, the 4 seed in the Tree region will be Billy Buffalo of the Buffalo Bills. Can Billy Buffalo do what the Buffalo Bills have never done and win a championship? First, Billy will have to get past the 13 seed Boomer of the Indiana Pacers, another franchise that has never won a championship. In the 6-11 matchup, we have the 6 seed, Mr. Red, and Mr. Red will be taking on the 11 seed, the Raptor, which, a little bit of a sleeper because people like dinosaurs. 3-14, the 3 seed in this region, is Blooper of the Atlanta Braves. Blooper will be taking on the winner of Toro from the Houston Texans and SJ Sharkey of the San Jose Sharks. All right, we just have 2 more matchups to reveal. The 7 seed in the Stanford Tree region will be Champ of the Dallas Mavericks. The 10 seed will be the NJ Devil, the New Jersey Devil of the New Jersey Devils. In the final 3 teams to be in Mascot Madness, we have the 2 seed in the Tree region, Stuff, the Magic Dragon of the Orlando Magic. And Stuff will be taking on the winner of Staley the Bear and Chance. Staley actually named after the Chicago Staleys, which was the original name of the Bears, and Chance of the Vegas Golden Knights. And oh man, let's check in on Oriole Bird. Oriole Bird has been left out of this tournament. Oriole Bird will have to come back next year and try again. I hope Oriole Bird is okay. Sorry, not this year, buddy. All right, so those are the 76 mascots that will be vying for your votes to become the world's most popular mascot and the winner of the first ever Mascot Madness Tournament. I'm going to take you to the website, which will be the hub of this entire competition. It is DerekAdamThomas.com/Mascot Madness or mascotmadness.fun. I highly recommend using the .fun because how often do you get to do that? You can see here, there's going to be a countdown of how much time you have left. And down here is the full bracket. So this is what I just revealed for you. And you can see it here. You can click and get some more information. You can see the card of the mascot that you clicked on. So I recommend checking that out. If you go down to the Dirty Dozen down here, these are the first ones that we are going to be voting for. So once you're ready, you can go to vote here and just make your selections. Pick the ones that you like the most, who you think deserve to advance to the first round. I want to thank you for watching this. I want to thank you for subscribing on YouTube, for following on Blue Sky, for following on Instagram. There is a Patreon for this podcast. You can check it out. Note all the links and stuff are in the description for the show. I am really excited for all of this. So the time has come. If you're watching this, voting is open. Get out there, people. Get out there and vote. Get a chance to win one of those cards. And I am so excited to launch the first ever Mascot Madness Tournament. Whoa, that all went over there. I meant for it to go over here, and it didn't. Thank you so much. I have to go clean this up. I don't know. I have to go clean this up. I think I'm deaf from that loud bang, but man, that was fun. Thank you. I will see you next time.